Hi, Zizaran here with another video. I am going to look over all the Atlas changes, and I actually am doing this off stream, and I haven't seen them before because I was in Vegas, just got back home, and I kind of almost forgot about this, and then Miro was like, hey, have you seen the Atlas stuff? And I was like, no, I haven't, because they do indeed change this every league now. So I'm going to look over the Atlas and talk a little about it, and also talk about what I'm going to shape. If you don't really know and understand why we shape the way we do, I do have videos explaining that, which should be fairly up to date. We're going to link them in the description down below. The main things that have changed from all videos is that obviously sextants are limited now. Instead of before, we could have 100 sextants on the Atlas. However, yeah, I'll go over all the changes, all the maps, which ones are good per tier, and which ones I would shape for profit, and which ones I would shape for pushing experience points. So the tier 1 maps is Wharf, Arcade, Pier, and Jungle Valley. Wharf is really nice. None of these have any like div cards I'm particularly excited about. The Wind drops in Jungle Valley. It's gonna be hard to remember all the div cards, but normally I'm not particularly excited about shaping any of the white maps. They're not particularly exciting because all my yellow maps are normally cleared anyway, so I don't get a big influx of them. The ones I care the most about shaping is the yellow ones, because I normally don't clear red maps. So for example, if I clear or if I shape Vault, I could have only Vault maps dropping, and that's why they're particularly exciting, especially for SSF when I want to single target farm a divination card. But I think I probably would... I'd probably shape Jungle Valley, if anything. At least the Wind drops there. Two-tone boots isn't the end of the world either. They're pretty nice. Wharf is honestly, like, all of them are good. Arcade probably will be very popular on softcore. They're not that exciting for me as an SSF player. I'm going to assume that Exalted card, div cards still drop there. Obviously, both on hardcore and hardcore Soul Alpha and Exalt aren't particularly exciting. But I can see a lot of people shaping Arcade on softcore. It does depend a little bit on things like how awesome the Blight mechanic is going to be in low maps. In Legion, we had a lot of people farming tier 2 glaciers for max profits, so we'll see. But yeah, Jungle Valley or Arcade. Tier 2, Excavation, Mesa, Cage, Armory, and Alleyways. Alleyways is probably the easy choice here. Mesa's, I don't know, it's a bit of a trap. I don't really like it. Oh, there's Sulfur Events as well. Sulfur Events is really nice actually because of the unique jewel card. So maybe Sulfur Events for SSF, depending. If you need jewels, if you need unique jewels, like for example, Inspired Learning, any threshold jewel you can't get normally. Oof, yeah, I might end up doing Sulfur Events for SSF. But Alleyways is really, really nice as well. I believe there is an Exalted card, Divination card there as well, right? On tier 3, we have Strand, Ivory Temple, Spider Lair, Ashenwood, Desert, Fungal Hollow, or Ramparts, Tropical Island, Pen, and Mausoleum. Strand's a great layout. Doesn't have a lot of monsters. I think it has like 450 mobs on average. Spider Lair, lots of monsters. Horrible layout. No div cards. Ashenwood. Got the Enlightened div card. It is really good. Desert, pretty okay layout. Decent amount of monsters. I think Ashenwood is the one that stands out the most to me here. Tropical Island, great layout. Very few monsters. I think I would recommend Ashenwood here at a first glance. Mausoleum is actually pretty great. You know what? I think I'm going to change my mind to Mausoleum. The layout is pretty good and really, really nice with the, I think it's a 40 regret card. So Ashenwood, if you really want the Enlightened card, or Mausoleum is probably better regardless. But at least you have some choices there. Gotta remember, like, everybody's gonna have different wants. Like, some people want to farm money, some people want experience, and different builds are gonna need different maps as well. The white ones honestly aren't very important because you're not going to be target farming those shape maps anyway. Like, I'd say 95% of the time you're going to clear all your yellow maps. So these shape maps are not going to be popping up a lot. Tier 4, we have Arachnid Tomb, Flooded Mine, Cursed Crypt, Lee Line, Channel, Crater, Burial Chamber, and Barrows, Fields, Arid Lake, and Grotto. So it's going to be an easy no-brainer for a lot of people to do Burial Chambers here for the Headhunter card. Although some people might keep it as just a tier 4 or even Elder it. It is in a pretty good position for Eldering since you can easily have 5 White Sextons on it. Arid Lake, pretty good XP farming map. Potentially something we Elder as well. Obviously, we're always looking for good white maps to Elder. So Arid Lake's going to be pretty high up on that list. We'll see. I haven't looked at the tier 5s yet. But yeah, I'd say tier 4, Burial Chamber or Arid Lake are some good options. Tier 5, we have Haunted Mansion, Lookout, Peninsula, Barrows, Thicket, Grotto, Relic Chambers. I thought that said Burial Chambers again. I got confused. Glacier, Beach, and City Square. So the tier 5s are awesome. We're definitely going to be either tier 16 Burial Chamber, or there is a bunch of nice tier 5s to wow, that's almost cruel to put so many good in one, because it's very hard. Like, you know, if you had a good tier 3, 4, and 5, you could give up your White Sextant and get some really nice like XP farming maps early on. But there's so many nice ones here. Also does mean you can very easily justify having, especially early on in SSF, a standalone tier 10. So you like, maybe you give up your yellow sextants and you don't clear all your tier 10s early on. There's so many good ones. Beach is actually fairly good mob count. Not nearly as good as City Square though. I think City Square is going to be the best choice here because there's 3 bosses as well. Obviously it is a bit rippy. The one boss in there does a ton of damage. Haunted Mansion, never been a big fan of it. I know a lot of people are. I don't like it. I don't know. Depends what build you are, I guess. If you're Kinetic Blast back in the day. And yeah, Glacier is really nice as well. It's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll have something similar with Glacier compared to Legion, where, you know, it always spawns in the first area. Maybe we're just going to be target farming our hearts out on tower defense. We'll see. We'll find out shortly. But yeah, I'm probably going to be shaping City Square. Might also be Eldering City Square. Beach as well, obviously a really, really good choice. And they're in really good positions on the Atlas. City Square would actually let you get fairly high item level fingerless gloves as well. So that's nice. Tier 6, we have a Lighthouse, Racecourse, Ghetto, Vault, Residence, Maze, Arsenal, Overgrown Shrine, Geode, Estuary. These are our tier 6. Oh, and Bone Crypt. I think I missed that. So I'm really happy with these tier 6s. Most of them aren't particularly great. Long gone are the days of farming vaults for exalted cards. I don't feel like they're particularly great anymore. The most excited I am about here is probably both Estuary and Residence. Residence is a horrible layout. Geode is actually pretty good too. Residence is a horrible layout. However, it has one thing over it. It has one of the best divination card drop rates in the entire game, and that is the Dapper Prodigy. If you're one of those players struggling with getting a 6th, especially early in the league, farming or shaping this for tier 11 and then farming that is an amazing way to get a 6th. Obviously, it's not going to necessarily be the color you want, but you know, it's pretty great, and it's a really good option for something to double corrupt for yourself in SSF. So I am most likely going to be shaping Residence unless I have another great option early on for a chest. But being able to escape out of a Tabula, and if I don't have a Comb's Heart, I mean, it depends what build I end up with, but a lot of the builds I want to go need a Comb's Heart. So if I don't have that, this could be a really nice high life chest piece, and then I just go digging for some pristine fossils and slam that on the chest. Now, Estuary is amazing. for some reason, all the other maps chests is an estuary. I don't know if grinding gears know, but yeah, grinding gear games have put every single chest from every other map into estuary. There are literally hundreds, and there are okay divination cards as well. Early on in the league, when you're poor and stuff like that, it can actually be fairly worth spam clicking these if you have a. It depends on your build. I mean, on some builds, every time you're not moving and clearing monsters, you're losing time. But if you're a summoner or something, it can be pretty cool to open a bunch of the chests. Can get very decently rewarded for it. I'm usually too lazy to do this, however. But yeah, Estuary is very nice, fairly easy boss as well. As I said, I will probably end up with Residence. Tier 7s, we have Necropolis, Bazaar, Ancient City, Waste Pool, Chateau, Spider Forest, Conservatory, Factory, Villa, Underground Sea, and Port, and Necropolis. I'm instantly drawn to Underground Sea out of all these. I think that's the one I want the most. Underground Sea is a really, really nice layout. The only thing that is a bit tilting about it is that unless you have a very high damage build, the boss can take a while to kill. Because what a lot of us would do with speed clearing builds is we would insta-pop all our Vol skills and kill the boss. However, it now has 2 charges. So even if you have decent damage, having decent damage for that long a time and waiting for the boss to respawn can be hard for a lot of builds. Then you're sitting there contemplating life and why your build has equal damage to one of Quinn's builds. Tier 7, I'm most likely going to be going with the Underground Sea. However, Spider Forest does drop Headhunter cards, which I know a lot of people are have a raging boner for. Tier 8s are Volcano, Arachnid Nest, Underground River, Shore, Phantasmagoria, Cells, Graveyard, Mud Geyser, Graveyard, Sepulture, Atoll, Pit, Temple. So Volcano is the one that stands out the most to me here. Shore was okay in the past with a lot of sextants. Cells, actually insane. It's so good. Like the doors on the map is pretty annoying, but so much density. There's just so many monsters in the map. I'm actually like tried tier 16ing it a few times and it's very nice to sustain. But obviously it's a pain to run. Graveyard, fairly nice, decent map. The boss, for some reason, Graveyard was amazing before. Grinding Gear Games decided it's not okay that this map is nice, so they destroyed it and made the boss really horrible. I think this is an easy no-brain, just Volcano. I feel like the Wind Ripper cards in the Toll is horrible to farm for, horrible drop rate. So easy, no-brain of Volcano. Tier 9, we have a Waterways, Promenade, Dungeon, Courtyard, Laboratory, Mineral Pools, Mud Geyser, Scriptorium, Castle Ruins, Arena, and Waterways. There's nothing that really pops out to me here. I mean, Mud Geyser is not bad. The boss can be fairly sketch for some builds. Coral Ruins is pretty horrible. Scriptorium is nice for the Shavdiv card. Chevron's Wrappings. Arena for the Devotee's Devotion. I'm not super excited for tier 9s. I'm kind of sad. I can see myself skipping tier 9s. Honestly. Mud Geyser, if I have a beefy enough build with a high single target, the boss can be very scary. The reason, especially for me, that I'm scared of this is because one of my starters might be SRS. And if you have SRS, a load of SRS out, and the boss in Mud Geyser spawns, it can be very easy for the big explosion to explode on your SRS and then one-shot you. Because it does do a lot of damage, so I generally try to avoid it. That's why I'm scared of Mud Geyser, especially on hardcore. And when we're pushing so fast and hard early on, we don't always get a lot of survival. And a lot of our survival is just don't get hit, lol. So, pretty scared, but I would say Mud Geyser or none. And then just get more tier 13s, which is Volcano. Tier 10s, we have quite a few good maps I've seen already. Iceberg, which is really nice. Academy, Overgrown Ruin, Lava Chamber, Moon Temple, Toxic Sewer, Dunes, Primordial Pool, Bog, Plateau, and there's a lot of nice maps here. Dunes, pretty decent, not that high mob density, and can be a bit like spacious for how many monsters there are. Toxic Sewer, amazing choice. Moon Temple, so much density, all the density. Lava Chamber, Chains That Bind, really good drop rate on them. So again, if you're wanting to farm 6 things to maybe double corrupt and stuff, they're really nice. Iceberg, really nice map, nice layout, decent mob count. Plateau, used to be good, dead to me now. Bog, easy boss, decent mob count, decent layout, just a good all-around map. I'm probably the most excited here about both Toxic Sewer and Moon Temple. Moon Temple being, depending a little bit on your build, back in the day with Winter Orb and being really good with Flame Dash, you could have insane clear speed in Moon Temple because you had so high density. Toxic Sewer is probably the map to go with here. Can probably be a little scary with like lightning arrow mobs if you're minions, but I'd say I'm going with Toxic Sewer here as my tier 10 to shape to tier 15. So tier 16 wise, like what I'm going to shape into tier 16s, I want to do that now before looking at the reds, because I am guessing I'm going to Elder, City Square, or Beach. It depends what build I'm playing. Like for a lot of the open ones, a lot of open builds like Deadeyes and stuff, Beach can be really nice. However, if you shape or Elder Beach, there's only 2 white sections I believe that can hit it, because I don't think Tropical is in range. It looks out of range at least. Same with City Square, I think only 2 whites as well. Isn't great. I do see that Arid Lake can 100% get at least 4 white sections on it. Obviously on SSF you don't get a ton of sections anyway, but it's still pretty decent, and it's not hard to get tier 16s on SSF. So I would probably still say City Square. Arid Lake looks very nice for spamming sections though. So you have some good options here for tier 16s. Obviously Burial. Burial is so nice, honestly. You farm doctors, you get to use lots of sections. I'd say in Trade League, I'd be very, very leaning towards Burial, honestly, even at the start. But City Square is really good too, and I can see a lot of people taking Beach. You have a lot you can deal with preference here. I probably wouldn't do Glacier. Probably wouldn't. Armory or Crater? God, no. I want to look at the reds here, what things we want to clear. So for tier 11, I think we're going to clear everything. There's no particularly map here that's exciting. Obviously, always you're going to have the neighbors dropping as well. So even if there was something that's really, really nice clear speed wise, and obviously we have Caldera at tier 11, which is nice for King's Heart drops. But yeah, I can instantly tell you I'm going to be clearing all tier 11s fairly early on. Just depends if I want to maintain Residence as a shape tier 11 for long enough to farm a Dapper Prodigy. That could also be. But especially once I start the push to 100, then I will be clearing all of them. Tier 7, I might not clear anything. I might just keep them for Underground Seas for clear speed. Tier 13s, I don't see myself clearing anything either, because I definitely want Volcano. Farming King's Heart cards, and it's good XP, good layout. Tier 14, I'm probably going to clear everything as well. I might, just because there's not that many good layout stuff, I might be forced to actually do the Mud Geyser and keep it and just be really scared of the boss. Because we do need nice tier 14s to clear and stuff, and there's not many other good options. Tier 15s, I probably won't be clearing a single one. Having Toxic Sewer or Moon Temple is going to be so nice for XP. So that is a little bit of how I would sum up what I'm going to be doing with shaping. If you don't understand why we're shaping them this way, a TLDR, for example, if I shape tier 8 Volcano, then I have a tier 13 Volcano, and when I don't clear any other tier 13, that is the only tier 13 that can drop. So once we get into this shaped loop, I get to target farm all these maps without worrying about any bad layouts dropping. So we're min-maxing that quite a bit. And if you want to support the channel and stream, you can check below for any sellout stuff and wanting to help out there. But I would say these are like my initial thoughts. They might change a little bit during the league and what build I am, where we find out the new divination cards dropping and stuff. But these are my initial thoughts on the Atlas before Blight League starts. Hope you guys have a great time in Blight. Wish you all the best of luck and try to die less than I do.